we're going to be talking for the next hour and a bit about social media, video marketing. You want this mic really up in my face?
Yeah, go.
And essentially building your brand. Before we take a 15-minute break halfway through, we're actually going to be hearing from Avalon talking a little bit more about building your brand, but Jessica and I are just going to be diving into our experiences with the platforms and then just some agenda items.
Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me. So this is our agenda for today. A couple things to note. We want this to be really interactive, more of a workshop style. So if you have your notebook, get your notebook out, or your notes on your phone, whatever it is you're using, because we will stop a couple times throughout and just prompt you to...
Okay, so
is this microphone not good enough?
YouTube for you, girl. So just put it up to your mouth so that YouTube can hear it.
Okay, so yeah, we'll prompt you a few times throughout to write things down and to participate. And if you have questions, just raise your hand and let's make it interactive, or else an hour and a half of just listening to us might be a little boring. All right, so we just want to know first, what do you guys hope to get out of today's workshop? Does anyone want to share?
Like on the topic of social media, when you guys hear about that, like what are you hoping to learn and get out of that?
How to be more consistent. Yeah, that's a good one. Anybody else? Yeah?
What you do to be authentic and how you gain leads and clients.
Okay.
Similar to that, how to convert.
How to convert? What drives the most results? Yeah?
And I would say what posts you guys notice, you get the most engagement behind.
Okay. Okay. Hopefully we can answer all of these for you guys.
Okay, so a little bit about me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Anna Spataro. I got married in June, so I'm still trying to get used to the name switch. But I've been in the real estate industry now for about 6 years. I currently live in Orangeville with my husband and our Frenchie Romeo. And then actually last year, one of my good friends and I, we published a gratitude journal. So I'm a co-publisher of that. And then, thank you. And then just recently, we started working with a marketing company to help realtors grow their social media platforms as well. The company's called Open House Marketing. And yeah, we'll go more into essentially the social media aspect of it. But for those of you who aren't following Jessica or myself, my name is Anna Spataro _, and then Jess will obviously share hers.
Thank you. All right, a little bit about me. I've been in real estate for about 3.5 years now. I started in real estate when my daughter was turning 1. So I got my license actually when I was on my maternity leave. Before that, I worked for Nestle Canada for many, many, many years. I had a sales team there, so I came from a completely different world where it was all about working with people, collaborating, and all of that, and that's kind of what led me down the path to eventually wanting to do more things like this with other real estate agents as well, and to connect with agents, because when I transitioned to real estate, I realized it's actually can be a little bit of a lonely world coming from a place where I had a team of 25 or 30 people. And I got married in 2018, and I have 2 little ones, so a 1.5-year-old and a 4-year-old. All right, so your goals. I think it's important when you think about social media to have some goals in mind. A lot of people use social media as just another thing that they need to do in their business. Pretty much every business is on social media, but not every business is actually getting clients through social media. So today it would be nice if everyone can think of some goals that they have, write down some goals for your social media. Is it to become more of a leader in your industry? Is it to be able to grow your database, to make new contacts? Do you want to get actual leads from social media? A lot of people are actually thinking of all of the vanity metrics with social media. So they're thinking about how many followers can I get, and how many likes did I get, and how many views did my reel get? But none of that matters if it doesn't translate into actual clients and money in your bank account. So you don't want to use your time on social media if it's not actually bringing you anything in return.
Okay, so we wanted to hear from you guys just in terms of social media and what are your goals with the platform. For me specifically, I've been really fortunate to build a very authentic and engaging community on social, which I am very proud of. And I guess we'll, to Christina's question, we'll go more into that as to how that's been created. But that's a big part of my goal going forward and just continuing to grow that. And, you know, sometimes with social, we can be so connected but so disconnected. So I take a lot of pride in really feeling like the community that's been created is authentic. And that's where I've really been able to translate business from that, is building that authenticity. So we just really wanted to hear from you guys, like, what are some of your goals with the platforms? Are you using it for your business currently? And if you are, yeah, like, what is going into 2025, your goals with social? Yeah.
Being consistent and building sort of a content calendar and having a bank to pull from for when you don't feel like posting. You know, it's a lovely relationship for me, and I just want to show up and be content,
Yeah.
not feel like I have to that much.
Right. Yeah. Uh, So basically just having a content bank, content calendar, just being more consistent with showing up on social. Yeah.
For me would be like to convert these new leads into actual business and how to track that.
Right. Yeah. Because I think too, like, you can grow your pages and your social, but the growth of followers doesn't necessarily mean like more conversion in business. So there's like a fine line with actually converting your followers and new people to your page.
Well, and it's incredibly time consuming.
Yeah.
Is that a money making?
Right. Yeah. For sure. That's a good one. Okay. Anything else? Okay. So who here currently is generating business from their social media platforms? Just a show of hands. So you're actively getting new business from it and closing deals from social media. Okay. Okay, so a little bit about my journey with the platform. So 6 years ago when I got into real estate, I was more heavy on the print marketing, cold calling, door knocking. I just did a lot of, just everyone had told me, you just got a cold call, you got a door knock, and I just spent so much time and money into different print advertising, and none of it really felt like me. I felt like I was just doing what I was told to do because people were like, this is how you get clients in this industry. And it wasn't converting. It just wasn't feeling like the right fit. So then I want to say right before COVID hit, I started switching to social. And again, it's probably just like the age and demographic I'm in, but social is a lot more like natural for me to use. So I switched to social, and it took a good solid 2 years of growing my social page before I ever saw anything come from that. And I know people now see that like 80% of my business comes from social, but it was like a solid 2 years of building the page up before anything ever came from it. There was a lot of raw videos that I posted that were just like way too long and cringy to look back now on, but it's just like you had to start somewhere. I did a lot of like static carousel posts. If you go to my page now, it's definitely like come a long way from like 4 or 5 years ago when I first had started. But then I just really started sharing a lot of, which anyone who follows me knows, like I share a lot of my personal life on these platforms, which has really been where I've been able to convert so much of my business. You don't really find a ton of just listed, just sold on there. It's more just about me, the community, and just my life. And there is real estate content in there, but it's not like a page where it's just a bunch of stock photos. And for me, where the conversion has happened has been in those personal moments where we've connected on like an outfit or my dog or moving or an investment property or something like this, where it opens up the conversations for people. So I know a lot of times people will just say, well, social's not working for them. And then they're just posting like just listed or just sold, and there's no like shortage of us realtors, so there's got to be a person behind your page, right? And we always say it's like your online resume. So when you're coming to my page or your page, you really want to feel like you get to know who Anna is as the realtor and also the person.
So before today, I went back and looked at my account to see when I started my Instagram account, because I never used social media before getting into real estate, not even personal. I only had Facebook, which I think like everyone had Facebook however many years ago, but I had never held a camera up and recorded a video or set up a tripod or posted a story or showed people what I was doing. That was not who I am. So when I was getting my license, I realized I'll have to find a way to meet people. And so I created an Instagram account, and that's kind of how it all started. So the first time I created the account was December of 2020. And then I wasn't licensed until mid-2021. So during that time, I was just posting and sharing what I was learning actually in the program, and just sharing that I was on a journey to get my license and just to try to kind of ramp up some business if I could before I actually got licensed. So that's how I started, and I was new to my city. I had just had a baby, it was COVID, and so I actually used social media to meet real people in real life. And so I used it to be social. And so even now, so many of the people I know, agents here in the room, friends that I have, people I go to for different, business services, they all in some way or another came through social media actually. And so I think it's important, if you do want to get business from your social media, that you're using it with the intention to actually cultivate relationships and to meet people. And if you're using it that way and you're not just posting and expecting somebody to come to your page and then say, hey, I want to work with you, I want to buy or sell with you, you might actually be able to convert into actual clients. So that's a little bit about how I started on there. Okay, so 3 reasons why people come on social media. Number 1 is for education, to be informed, to learn something. The other one is for entertainment purposes and, and education. So understanding who your target audience is and who you're speaking to is really important. So one of the first things you want to do with your social media is think about, who would you love to serve on social media? Who would you actually want to work with? And that is the content that you want to create, is for that person. So if you have a dream client in mind and you can think about them, where are they in this stage of their life? What information do they need to know? What do they like? Where are they? Where do they actually go? Physical places that they visit, which we'll get into why that's important later. But if you have all of this in mind, you can create content around these different pillars and keep this in mind with what you're posting. Because like Anna said, the just sold, just listed, it's not enough to actually start real conversations, to create relationships and then translate those into actual clients. Because most people just don't care. Not many people on your social media are right now actively looking to buy or sell and don't have a real estate agent. So you actually have to capture these people well before they're in that phase of needing to buy or sell a property.
And I think it's important to note too, just when you're putting out the content, keeping these 3 pillars, if you will, in the back of your mind. Like, okay, is this content to inform people? Is it to educate? Or is it just strictly to entertain? And I think like having a good mix of all 3 is important. Obviously, you don't want to just be like entertaining people, because then no one really takes you seriously. But then if it's just education, then there's not really like you as the realtor person behind it. So just having like a good mix of different videos. Like I'll do a lot of content on educational videos that are professionally curated videos, and then there's a mix of just different like light, fun ones, and then just informing people. So just when you're thinking about putting content out, just having these 3 in the back of your mind. Okay, who here is currently tracking the growth of, like, does anyone look at their analytics on their Instagram? Okay. Oh, it's yours. Okay, this is super important. I always look at I have mine, I think. I always look at my, you can go on your insights if you guys will talk about business and creator pages, But looking at these insights will really help you like understand, first of all, who's following you. Because if you guys will go through it, it'll show you the age of people that are following you, the range, demographic, male, female, what areas people are living in. This will really help curate your content, because if your demographic is 24 to 34, kind of like that's, I'm pretty sure last I checked that was mine. So it's like normally they'll follow the age that you're at, because you'll kind of follow like similar life stages. But I'm not going to be putting out content for downsizing as much, because that's not who my target audience is. So really looking at the ages of people that are following you. If it's older people, maybe they're wanting to upsize or downsize, whatever the case is, it's super critical to actually pay attention to your insights and see what's performing better. I always look at like all these ones that are circled here. I always try to have more non-followers than followers that I've reached, because then it shows that my content's performing well, it's showing up on Explore pages, it's reaching new people. And then for me, I can reverse engineer and be like, okay, this type of content does well, so I'll put more of this content out to reach new pages. But if you're not paying attention to any of your insights or growth, you don't really know how to actually grow your page further. Do you guys know how to actually find this as well? Yeah? Okay. So let's just pull up our Instagram, and if you go, so if you go to professional dashboard,
On your main profile at the top, you'll see that professional dashboard. You can click that.
and then I go into, under insights, I go under views. And then it'll show accounts reached. It's usually in the last 30 days. The percentage that were followers and the percentage that were non-followers, and then the amount that came from stories, reels, videos, and posts. And then it'll also show you your top performing content.
But it's true that here it doesn't say account reach, it says views rather than account reach.
Under,
What kind of account do you have? Is it a professional, personal, a business? We have a creators, maybe that's why.
but it shows views and then account, like
Oh,
under,
underneath.
like
Underneath the big circle.
under this.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are your accounts reached in a 30-day period, and then that little wheel will show you out of those accounts reached, how many of them were non-followers and how many were followers. So I always try to have it higher non-followers, and I find, we'll go into it a little bit more as well, but for me, the non-followers really gets reached through reels. But yeah, just being intentional with tracking that if you guys aren't already, and just seeing what content is performing better than others.
Okay, so similarly to what we were just talking about, there's 3 different types of accounts that you can have. There's personal, business, and then creator. So we don't recommend having a personal account, because then your account's not public and people can't find you through your account, so we would not suggest that one. The other 2 to consider are business or creator. Now, both of them will allow your account to be public. You can post, reels, stories, everything. You do get the insights. The biggest difference that we find with the creator's account is that with the creator's account, you can actually have more access to different music. So that's one of the reasons we both chose that. And if you do start doing more collaborative posts with other accounts, if they are a creator account and you're a business account, you might not have access to the same library of music, and then that can start to cause some problems down the road. So for that reason, we both have the creator's account. Oh, yeah. So,
I do. I just have to.
yeah, it's in the settings.
Is it count? I have to look through it and then I can see. Yeah, here. If you go into the 3 lines on your profile page, where did I just go? Mine says creator tools and controls under where it says for professionals. And then if I scroll down, there's a tab that says switch account type. So it pops up to switch to personal account or switch to business account. But if you're a business, it'll say switch to personal or creator. I've played around with both. I've had a business page before, but just as Jessica mentioned, the issues with the music, especially if you're using trending audio on your reels, sometimes you don't have access to that music. And when I've collabed with other businesses, as she mentioned, if they don't have access, you can't collab with them. So it just opens up more opportunities on that front for the creator page. And then, yeah, so here's a screenshot of our profile pages, and we're just wanted to talk a little bit about like optimizing your profile page. Just having like a clear headshot of you and just so people can easily find you. Also, further details of your business. It's super important to have like, the areas that you work in instead of just like Toronto Realtor or just something generic, like what areas do you service? And then, or I've seen people that just say like Realtor and there's no area that they service. So, yeah, like having specific areas that you service and then also having highlights to different things. Just so people that are new that follow you, they can just tap through different highlights to kind of get a feel for like things that you've done, who you are. The pin posts are super important. I always switch up my pin posts. Usually they're work related, but they're my wedding photos right now. But it's like, but just different things that are going on. Like right now I'm doing photos with Santa events, so I'll probably pin that one up so it stays at the top till the event's done. So when people come to your page, like they always see like things that you're doing. Having a call to action, your contact info, like as you can see on Jessica's page, there's a call, mine says contact where it drops down to my phone number and email. So just making it like super accessible for people to contact you, not just through DM, but also if they want to email or call you. Having a home for your links. So both myself and Jessica, we both have links, like yours is not a link tree, it goes somewhere else, I guess. Oh, you have another one.
It's my website, but my website has a page where I can have multiple links, but it's just through my website. So on there I'll have like my blog, my YouTube channel, book a call with me, and then some opt-in, like something that I might be able to collect information.
Yeah. So having essentially like all of this is like a full profile and bio, so people come to your page and they really understand, okay, what is it that we do? And then they can tap through some highlights, click the links, and then for mine, I have drop downs that go to different events to sign up for that I'm doing at the time, or different buyer or seller guides that they can download. So really you want people to come to your page and get a feel for like what you do, who you are, and just have a resource, like a library of resources. Where's Avalon?
I was waiting for that. I knew it was coming.
I was like, whoa, I forgot that's there. Okay.
Oh, I hold this too?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Avalon. I wanted to do a quick little intro and also talk about brand photography since we're on the topic of social media and those things go very hand in hand. So a little bit about me. I literally copied your guys' slide because I never know what to say about myself. So I was like, yeah, I'm getting married next year. I have a stepdaughter in high school, which is insane. Still cannot register that. And I've worked in marketing for 10 plus years before I found myself interning for wedding photographers. And it was from there that I really realized that I could make a business for myself doing something that I love. And then once I started promoting myself on social media and posting photos of myself, I started noticing how well those were performing and how much deeper I was able to connect with my audience and actually build that know, like, trust factor, which we've been talking about, and convert my Instagram followers into clients. So now that's mostly where my brand photography clients come from, and I've helped a lot of my clients do the same just through brand photography and content that really allows them to be the face of their brand. So that's really what I do, is help small business owners become the confident face of their brand. And it says female identifying business owners, but I photograph men as well. Just want to put that out there. But it's mostly females, just that's who I market to. So with brand photography, my process is really rooted in being intentional, because a lot of people think that you could get a photo shoot done, get a headshot done, you know, go down by the water, post a pretty photo, and that's going to do it for you. But in order to get actual leads from your photography and your clients, you have to think about what they want to see, what your ideal client needs to see, which you guys touched on, like knowing your ideal client. There's so much value in that. So for brand photography, you really want to look at it the same way. So instead of kind of speaking on what I do, I wanted to ask you guys a couple questions that'll help you think about it, so you can kind of stage it yourself, whether you're taking photos of yourself, whether it's you're doing educational reels, you're getting a professional photo shoot done. These are kind of the questions you want to ask yourself, to be thinking about, how can I show up more intentionally? That's a way that's going to build my business how I want it to be, that I can show up as who I want to be in the future, but also attract my dream clients. So some questions you can ask yourself is, what does your business look like in 5 years? How do you present yourself? What are you wearing, driving? Who are your clients? What kind of lifestyle do they live? What do they value the most? Where do you hang out? Are you speaking at conferences, attending networking events, masterminds? And how do you show up? And this can mean, do you show up on social media? Do you have a YouTube channel, podcast, whatever it may be? So thinking about all these elements, you could start to think about how you can showcase these visually, right? For example, like if your ideal client values luxury travel, you're not going to do a photo shoot in the middle of the woods, right, at a cottage. It just doesn't line up. So thinking about these things can really help you create images that are going to draw in the people that you can serve best. And so, yeah, you can take answers from these questions. You can take a photo if you need to, if you're not able to answer them right now. And then just think about how to create photos, videos, content to appeal to your dream client, but also to embody who you want to be. And that's why I asked, what does your business look like in 5 years? Because you want to show up as that most empowered version of yourself, because when you have that energy in your photos, it shows, and people can feel that, and they view you as an authority, as a leader, and that's what helps bring people into your world and trust you. Okay, so another powerful question to ask yourself when you're building out content or you're planning a brand photo shoot is, what is your dream client struggling with right now? And how can you become the most obvious solution for them? So this is a really great one, because I'm sure we've all heard the saying that a photo is worth 1,000 words, and photos are usually first impressions on Instagram, right? So if someone can see what you do, how you help people, what you value in a first glance, it's that much easier to get them into your world, because people have such short attention spans. So you really need to make it obvious, like, this is what I do. Sometimes it feels lame, right? Like you're in front of a house holding a sold sign. We all do that, but like, that's what you need to do. Honestly, it's the right thing to do. But then once you think about, okay, how can we bring that a little bit deeper? Like, what type of house am I showing up in front of? What am I wearing? You know, what are the clients that I'm interacting with? Like, kind of those layers about who exactly you want to appeal to. So some examples are, your client feels overwhelmed with the housing market and thinks there's never really a good time to buy or sell. So you host a weekly Instagram Live, breaking this down for them in simple terms. So that would be an example of, that's something someone's struggling with. Here's how I'm going to create content to alleviate their pain points. But you can also do this in photos. So if your client dislikes how transactional real estate can feel, you can plan a photo shoot that you show how you meet clients where they are at, that you provide those personal connections, that you go to their home, and you really value that connection and trust. So just a few things to think about in terms of really positioning yourself as the solution, And honestly, the best way to do this, which I have done in my business countless times, and I encourage all my brand photography clients to do, is actually ask your clients what they're struggling with. Like, what are you struggling with right now? And what's great about that is they will actually give you the proper language to use because sometimes we know our business so well that we tend to use jargon that nobody else understands. So your client's gonna say, I'm struggling with this, but they're gonna say it the way they understand it, and then in turn, you could use those words in your marketing so you know you're really hitting home with them, and you're not confusing them with jargon, which I know can happen. Just from being a follower of a lot of real estate agents, I know that can happen. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, and how does that apply to me? Because that's what people care about. Like, how does it apply to them? And I think everybody touched on that so well, is like making it personalized, making it segmented, as Andrea was talking about in the email marketing. Like, that's really what you want to do. And brand photography is just another tool of making it really segmented and really tailored to your niche and your market, who you want to attract. So instead of me coming up here and showing you a bunch of brand photography examples, I just wanted to give you those kind of questions to ask yourself, because I think it really starts with inquiry and diving a little bit deeper, because these are things we don't always think about right away. We just book the pretty photo shoot and we get the headshot done, but if you take it a step further and be really intentional, it makes all the difference. I've seen clients get up to double the leads and double the engagement once they do this deep work, because they're speaking to those people that they really want to speak to. And those people are noticing because they know that this person cares and they understand their struggles. So,
Yeah, I
That's
just
my
want
spiel.
to add to your point, because Avalon and I recently just did some updated branding photos with my admin and I, and yeah, shout out to Avalon, they do look really good. But like previously, I never thought of like photography that way. I was just like, oh, I want to do some updated photos and like just get a photographer to do that. But when Avalon and I were on Zoom, like she just really breaks it down exactly to what she just said. And I was like, I never thought of it that way. And again, like we don't even realize sometimes the way we're showing up because it's just who we are. But then to hear it from an outside perspective of being like, okay, well, this is kind of how I see you and your brand. Like, how do you want to show up in these photos as, and just having it cohesive with who you are on social media, because the photographers, like the photos that you're going to get have to also match the theme and the brand that you're showing up with online. So I do really appreciate that, because I feel like I never thought of it that way. I would just be like, okay, I need some updated photos, but then what do those photos actually look like and what message am I trying to send out to people? And a lot of my brand is lifestyle driven, so I want that to show in photos. I don't want it to just be me sitting and like just getting my headshot. And we talked about that when you were like, what kind of photos do you want? Do you just want like a white wall headshot? And I was like, no, definitely not. So it's just like having those conversations and collaborating on like a bigger theme of the brand that you're trying to be and show up as on these social platforms. And I think, so we were just gonna break for 15 minutes. The last like bit of the presentation's like really the meat of everything. So before we inundate you with all of that, we're just gonna take a quick break. And then if you guys haven't already, please get your headshots from Avalon. And then we are gonna go into further content. Okay. Yeah, I feel like 2:15. How long were we on? Is it an hour? I don't know. Can you start with it?
Oh, yeah, I think it was
19th. It's like usually, so the first year I did it, I would buy everything, and then I don't do that anymore because now I have like years of doing it where people are just like messaging me to like donate stuff. But I felt bad asking the first year because I was like, can you donate to my giveaway? And I just was like, I'm just gonna buy it all, which was like ridiculously expensive. So I did that one year, and they were just photos that I would post of the giveaways on my like, on a white backdrop, and I would take the photos myself. And it served its purpose. I wasn't doing any of this, but like I got new followers, it was engaging and all that. And then the next year I started saying, okay, I don't want to really do photos. I want to like make it into Reels, because Reels is how I like reach new people, and that's where I grow my page. So how can I make these giveaways into Reels? So that's where like now my videographer and I, we like film it over the course of 2 days, and schedule it with all the businesses that we're doing. So there's a lot of local businesses that are, you know, giving away like spa packages or facials, and Avalon's actually doing like a brand photography package. So, and then as we're doing that, like the Reels, like the owner of the business or whoever will be in the Reel with me, and we're saying, okay, today's day 10 of Anna's annual Christmas giveaways, and today we're giving away and whatever it is. So I try to make it like around community or small businesses, and now I've been like fortunate enough where like they'll donate things to the giveaway. And then the last one, I always try to do like a bigger one, as the day 12 one, which historically has been a Smeg coffee maker, and I just keep doing it because everyone loves it. So I feel like there's an expectation for that, and that I buy. Yeah.
So how do they enter the 12 days? Is it just through your Instagram?
Yeah.
And they go to a form like
Yeah. It gets posted on like YouTube Shorts and Facebook, but it always like drives back to my Instagram. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you set out certain conditions for collaboration with those local businesses? So for example, there's a local business that I was trying to collaborate with, and they're like, oh, you're welcome to promote us, but we like to keep on brand. And, you know, like they were like half collaborating. So I'm just wondering, which in the end, when I started thinking about like the project, I'm like, oh, maybe there's something else we could work on that'll be more suitable. But I'm just wondering if, when you're collaborating with local businesses, if you have like a certain, how do you explain it to them, and how do you set out your collaboration criteria?
So, like if most of the times, like I say, well, all the time when we're approaching them, I'll say off the bat, like we want to collab this post as well. And then from there, you can gauge like if they're open to it or not. If people are a little skeptical, I always ask like, okay, well, is there a certain like brand or theme that you're trying to like match? Because then maybe we can make sure that's like in the video so it matches like also cohesive to your branding and theme. So that's happened before where they're like, yeah, we're trying to have like a certain look. And then I'm like, okay, well, we'll just make sure that's captured in the video. Other times, like I did a video at Bellwood's Brewery, and they were just like no, they didn't want to collab. And I was like, it's a professional video, it looks really good, but yeah, like some people just really don't want to. Yeah, yeah, like it's still engagement and content for you. It's better if they collab it, but that's only ever happened once where a business was like, we don't collab with people. Yeah.
What's your cost for this if you offer an average fee, right, between that option or the giveaway?
The cost? No, well, like, she, like the videographer I use, because Avalon does the photos, the photo portion of it, but the cost for the 12 videos that I batch out is about $1,700. And then, yeah, I just get like hair and makeup done that day, get some outfits for the Reels, and then I schedule it with all those businesses that we're meeting. Like, it's like a tight timeline. Like, we start at like 7, 8 a.m., and then we're like, okay, we have to be at this business for like 8:30. We have like 30 minutes, and then we're driving to the next place. So it's like a little bit of a pain in the ass to like schedule it all out with everyone, but I just do it early enough in November, so it's ready for December 1st.
I was gonna say something about that because I know you're very professional and you get all your videos done. But there's also ways, like if you're filming them yourself, you can also send out, because I know I feel like the biggest bulk of it is like editing all the videos and making them look nice.
Yeah.
There's like those like online platforms, like what is it, like Upwork or Up something, where like you just send them all the videos and they'll make you, like they'll edit it and do all those things for you.
Yeah.
Like, and I've done that before.
Yeah, I've done that too. Like, I've taken the videos and then I don't want to like edit it, so I've sent it to my videographer and be like, can you just like edit this into a reel for me? So you could just create it and it cuts the cost like significantly, yeah.
Question, do you have that, like, if you have 12 days to do it, do they enter once for all of them, or do they have to be every
every single one. So, because they won't know what each giveaway is. It's like day one gets released December 1st, then the winner gets announced December 3rd morning, and then the day two gets released like December 3rd morning. So then they don't know like what the next one is. So then they could enter again. But I try not to have like the same person win twice, but yeah, they could. Yeah. Yeah.
On top of that, how do you pick your winner?
So there's like a giveaway app. You can like enter in the criteria, and then it like spits out the winner.
Do you like make a video while you're doing that?
Yeah, I've done that, or I'll just put a screenshot of like the winner's name and then tag them. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be quick because I think we're getting to the end, but just kind of coming into video marketing, YouTube's a great platform that you can repurpose a lot of what you're already doing and just put it onto YouTube Shorts, and it's not really going to take any more of your time. But you can also go and actually create long-form video, which is what I started doing. I am so not consistent with it, but it still resulted in business, which is, honestly, I thought it was going to take a year. I said, I'll post for a year and I'll get nothing from it, and that's okay. And that's kind of what I told myself going into it, and then it happened faster than a year. So the pros to going onto YouTube will be that you can have evergreen content, meaning that it's going to be relevant and actually stay in the search engines for so much longer than the effort that you put into a short form video, which is going to be lost in your feed in a couple of days if you're posting every single day. And it's really hard for people to go onto Instagram and actually search for like something. TikTok has a much better algorithm for that, for actually searching and using keywords, but YouTube's great because it's linked with Google. So if someone Googles something and your video has those keywords and it's optimized, there's a chance that your video actually comes up at the top of Google, because Google at the top of Google has actually like YouTube videos that show up there. So it also helps build your credibility, and you can convert people a little bit faster, even with very little views and very little follows, like subscribers. I don't have, I think I have less than 50 subscribers on YouTube, and the videos get like a few hundred views. So it's nothing crazy. It's not like Instagram where you might get thousands of views. But the people who actually take the time to watch, a 12-minute, 15-minute video actually have some interest in what you have to say about that topic, versus short-form content where they just happen to be on the app, happen to find you, or you're like me and you go and insert yourself into their day by like commenting and DMing them, and that's how they found you. So this way it's actually them searching for what you have to say. The cons are obviously it takes a lot longer, there's more commitment involved and more skill, or you need to outsource and pay. So you need to develop the skills to, film, to record, you have to develop the skills to edit, or you need to pay someone and outsource that and have someone to edit your videos for you. So getting started, this is really high level because it could take a whole day to talk about, but determine your audience, determine your content pillars. So for me, it's going to be the local content, so focusing on communities, focusing on events, which I'm already going to those events anyways with my family, and I'm already going to create some type of content for my social media. So while I'm there, I'll just also get some content for YouTube. And also repurposing my reels into shorts, and then some FAQ, like some more general tips for buyers and sellers, but mostly everything is going to come back to the local stuff, because again, no one's really going to go on YouTube and say like, how do I sell my house very fast? So even though I might make a video about that, that's not where the bulk of your actual business would come from. It's going to be people who want to know, what is it like to live in your city? What's the safest neighborhood? What's the worst neighborhood? What are the best schools? That's what people are looking for if they're thinking of moving to your city. So that's the type of videos that you want to have there. So once you determine what those pillars are, you can plan out your first 5 videos and actually write a script for the video, because once you write the script, you'll know what type of B-roll and the places that you want to highlight within the video, because the video, it's not really supposed to be about you. So if you watch any of my videos, you'll see it's like me talking for 5 seconds, and then it's video, and you just hear my voice over it, and then me talking for 5 seconds, and then video, because no one came to watch me. They don't care. They just care about what they came to find, which is the information that they want. So in the videos, it's going to show things like, what do the houses look like in that neighborhood? What do the parks look like? What are the schools? Where's the hospital? Like that kind of information. So when I write out the script, I can go and highlight, oh, while I'm talking about this, I want to show this, this, and this. So then I kind of create my list of all the places I need to go drive around and get all of that footage, and then I just keep that in my phone in different folders so I can come back to that time and time again and repurpose it again in new videos as well. Once you do that, you just basically film the videos, edit it yourself, or you can outsource that and have someone to edit it, create the thumbnail and the caption, and then always keeping in mind just, you know, like the SEO, the search engine optimization, using the keywords. There's different tools and apps you can use that can help you with that, so that you can make sure that your content is filled with all of those words. And then obviously you want some type of thumbnail that matches the video, but it also would get their attention to get them to click it. So you should be in the thumbnail. There's just like statistics about that a thumbnail with a person's face is going to get clicked more than just if I just had these houses, for example. And your face should actually be like very close. Like it should be big. So that's why like we're super big in the pictures. And then you can post these obviously on YouTube, share them, share it to your social, share it if you have local Facebook groups and stuff. Like there's different places you can actually go and share these videos so that again they're seen by your ideal audience. You wouldn't necessarily want to go and share it with like a group of other real estate agents, because that kind of messes with the algorithm. So you do want it to be purposeful. Like you want to keep in mind who you're sharing this with and have a purpose behind that. And then repurposing this for other forms of video marketing. So if you're sending out a newsletter, you could include in the newsletter a link to one of these videos talking about highlighting a specific neighborhood or highlighting a business within a specific neighborhood, and you can just repurpose these videos for different things. So one of the things that I did early on that actually got me a couple of two sellers was I took Instagram videos that I had that were just general information videos and turned them into an ad. So there was no call to action, there was no like sign up, there was nothing like that. It was literally just, here's a reel of me giving information, real estate information. I turned it into a Facebook ad, ran that on Facebook. I spent like $90, it wasn't anything crazy. I'm not a specialist with ads. Turned it into an ad, and then actually from that, I actually got two sellers from that. And even the video wasn't even really about sellers. It was just general information for people in the current marketplace, what was happening in the market at that time. So you can definitely take the content that you're creating for social media and repurpose it for email marketing, for ads, creating blog posts out of this. Again, this all just helps you build your presence online so that you can be found through various platforms. Other ways that you can incorporate video into your marketing is through text. So instead of just texting somebody, you can send them a video message. Like Janelle, you sent me a video message on my birthday. Yeah, yeah, and that was nice, right? So like instead of sending your client just a happy birthday email or a text, if you take a couple minutes to film a video and send them the video, they're going to remember that a lot more. They're going to appreciate it a lot more. So incorporating video, you can do that in DMs as well. So instead of just sending a message, you could use a voice message or you could use a video message. And then same thing for, like, you know how when you're working with a client, you might have a drip campaign set up for these are the next steps, like you just purchased, so this is what's happening next, and it's just a way to stay organized and let them know what's happening. You could actually film a series of explaining like what the buyer representation agreement is, explaining what happens now that they're under contract, explaining, how to go and set up your utilities. So when you send them an email, it's not just an email, it's actually a video of you explaining all that, and then there might be text that's more specific to them, but it all ties into that brand experience. Okay. Okay, well, any questions as we wrap up?
I feel like we loaded you guys a couple
Yeah,
times,
it was a
so-
lot. It was a lot of information.
Yeah, it's Brian.
Yes.
I have three questions. This might make me sound my age. Do hashtags matter in Instagram? Time of day that you post matter? And being verified, does it matter?
Okay, so I would say hashtags, and I'll let you answer. You might have a different answer. I don't think that they're that important, but I still use hashtags, and I tend to use hashtags that are more specific. I'll mix in like some broad ones, and what I mean by that is like hashtag first time home buyer, hashtag home sweet home. That can be anyone in the world. And actually, I find it's more real estate agents who are following those hashtags. So instead, I might use a hashtag with something with the city name in it. So that might be like Burlington Moms or Burlington Eats, and it's like restaurants and stuff. So even though my post has nothing to do with restaurants, I might just put that in there because people who follow that are local. So that would be my strategy with the hashtags. The time of day, I think it does actually matter. I don't think you should overthink it, but you can actually look in your analytics and see when your audience is on the app more, and you can test out posting, morning, afternoon, or evening. My posts that are more in the morning tend to do better, and that's just because of my audience. So you can check with your audience and see what works better. And then being verified, I don't know. I'm not verified. I started thinking about getting verified only because I'm afraid if I lose my account, I might never get it back.
Yeah.
And that, I know if you're verified, that can help you. It gives you access to talking with the meta support, and so I might start paying for that.
The metaverse. Yeah.
And I can attest, actually, a person told me, a real person comes around when you do a ticket, when you have a ticket, they call you and you can talk with them. They also, you get, when you verify, they send me these messages, but I never got to that. They actually want to schedule a call with you to help you improve your reach.
Oh.
They give you like a back end coaching. So there are certain perks with getting verified, but it's $20 a month, so you will have to decide if that's an investment that you're willing to put in. If your business comes from there, they want to. But I was surprised. I really thought that it was actually a joke. And somebody's trying to eventually ask me for my credit card. But it was no, they were from Instagram and they sold it.
Do you have anything different to say?
No, I feel like with the hashtags, I would agree. They're not as like big of a deal as they used to be. So I still use them, but just trying to be more like niche about the hashtags. Yeah.
Check for banned hashtags, though. It doesn't have to be a check for like, if the hashtag is banned, you don't want to use those ones. They won't ban them.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. I didn't even realize that was a thing.
Yeah. I know.
If you want, but it's not gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
For time of day posting, find out what works for you, because my analytics will say one thing, but I know if I post at 7 a.m., I get way more engagement. I guess people are just like waking up and looking at their feed. So after, like if I post after noon, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Afternoon, definitely. Like if I have to post something and it's like after 12 p.m., I'm like, I'll just wait till tomorrow morning. And then I find like Sundays.
Want to find real estate agents, they will all
Yeah, yeah,
be
yeah.
there. Opening at 12, 10, 5.
Yeah, we're always on our phone, but even like weekends, I find like if I'm gonna post on a Saturday or Sunday, like Sundays do way better than Saturdays, because Saturdays usually people are like out and about more and like not really on their phones as much, so time of day definitely does matter, yeah.